Black Americans will never receive reparations because we have no system or no mechanism in place to reinforce consequences for not paying reparations. Now, a lot of Black people point to the Japanese Americans receiving reparations and a lot of other nations receiving reparations because I want you to understand something. These other nations have a system in place, have a government in place that can affect the American economy, that can affect trade deals, that if reparations aren't paid, things can get out of whack. So like, for instance, the Japanese, if they can say, the Japanese government can say, well, if you don't pay reparations to our citizens, we're going to back out of this trade agreement. If you don't pay reparations to our people, we're going to stop exports and imports. There's political, global, economic, and governmental ramifications for not paying reparations owed. They say, oh, the Jews receive reparations. Well, Israel is a major player in global politics, and global economics. There's going to be consequences for not paying those reparations on a global scale, on a governmental scale. So what mechanism do we have in place that we can say, well, if you don't pay us reparations, we're going to do this? What bargaining chips do we have? We have none. We can't go to any government and say, hey, they're treating us wrong. They're not paying us our reparations. We can't enforce anything. We have no bargaining chips. It's just like if somebody owe you money and then you say, well, hey, man, you owe me that $20. When you going to pay me that $20? I'm not going to pay you. If you can't get your money from them, if you can't scare them, if you can't impact their life in some way, they're never going to pay you. And collectively, we have no system, no mechanism in place to implement consequences for unpaid reparations. None whatsoever. We can't go to Africa because we're not Africans. So we have no system, no government that's backing us. It's just us, and we're in this land. There's nothing that's going to give them the incentive to pay us. And if we're counting on them to be morally righteous, morally upright, that's a losing cause, okay? Governments and political parties and political power, they operate on power, and the enforcement of power. That's what it's about. It's not about morality. It's not about what you can say. You can't convince them. It's about the ability to enforce power and control and consequences. That's what people respond to. So if you don't have collectively a way that you can enforce consequences, you're never going to get it. And we don't. So that's what we miss about, they say, oh, they burned down Tulsa when we try to make our own. We missed the lesson. What that was about was we can build our own land, we can build our own stores, but if we don't have military backing to protect that, if we don't have force to protect what we built, then we don't have what we built. That's what it's about, force. If I can take what you built, you don't have it. You have to be able to not only build something, but protect somebody else from taking it. You look at Saddam Hussein. He was a very rich man, ran a whole country. But where did the U.S. find him when they came to find him? They found him in a hole somewhere, hiding. He didn't have the systems in place to protect what he had built, and they came and took that shit from him. They seized is a fancy word for took. They seized $12 billion in the process. Do you see what I'm saying? If you can build something, that's great. But if you don't have mechanisms in place to protect what you built, then you haven't really built anything. That's what we miss. We miss military power. We don't have any military power. We don't have an independent consequence system that we can enforce on anybody. So asking for something that you think that you're owed, which we may be owed, but if you continue to ask without a mechanism to enforce, if you don't get it, then you're never going to get it. We miss that, and we rely too much on morality to try to show them that, oh, you owe us. Oh, don't you feel bad? They don't. You know what I mean? We can say that till we blue in the face. They don't feel bad. They seized power. They took what they wanted. That's the end of the story. If you can't take it back, you need to shut the fuck up. That's the position that they take it. That's why countries go to war. We want something that we're not getting, and we're willing to fight and die for it. Black people are not ready to do that. So if you're not ready to do that, Make the best of your situation or shut the fuck up about it.